Hello, my name is Mike Pontello. This is my wife Sandy. Welcome to our kitchen. Today we're going to be doing some great Italian cooking. We're going to start out with making some artichokes, Italian stuffed artichokes. Honey, where do we get started?
Okay, we're going to get started with preparing an artichoke. And I want you to know that Mike's mother is the one that taught me how to do this. And stuffed artichokes are a big thing in Mike's family. And oh, his mama and his mother made such good artichokes. But we're going to save this stem. I'll explain it to you. And when I first got into the family, I kept telling Mike's mother that I wanted to learn how to make it. And she would basically always tell me verbally how to do something. She was not going to tell me verbally how to do this. I had to do a one-on-one workshop in her kitchen to learn how to do this, because she really wanted me to learn the right way, and I'm glad she taught me. So, okay, we've just cut off the bottom to make it flat so it will sit in the pan better. I cut the top off, and now each one of these leaves has a little prickly thorn, and you want to cut just the little top off all the way around. And then we're going to go and rinse out the leaves really well over the sink, and we're going to stuff them. For 4 artichokes, I did 4 cups of breadcrumbs. Now I will use fresh breadcrumbs, and I will use the Progresso breadcrumbs. A lot of basil, a lot of granulated garlic, there's fresh cut parsley, there's fresh cut green salad onions, just the green tops. There's a lot of cheese. For 4 cups of breadcrumbs, I put 3 cups of grated parmigiana reggiano along with romano. I mix it with the artichokes because the romano cheese is has a little bit more moisture, and we just want all kinds of flavors here. And it's got Lawry's seasoned salt and pepper and a hint of oregano. Now, Johnny Carava's restaurant on Kirby, he does artichokes, and they're beautiful. They're beautiful when they come out. They're perfectly brown. I kind of wonder, what does he do to do that? He's got to put them in a net or something that holds them together. But this is our way, and with my mixture, I've already done 4 artichokes today, and I have this left. You can save it for more artichokes. You can save this for making meatballs or a meatloaf, or just freeze it. It won't go bad. Okay?
Back in the day, in the late 60s, there was a place called Mama Rizzos. They had the best artichoke in town. Then Johnny Carava came along. Johnny, if you go to Johnny Carava's on Kirby or Rosie's on Voss, best artichoke in town, bar none. It is the best.
It is the best.
They've got it down to a science, and I'm going to tell you, they're out of this world. You can usually get them all year long.
Okay, so on each artichoke, when you purchase it, there's a little bit of a stem that came from the stalk of the artichoke plant. So what Mike's mama and mama always did, they trimmed this off. They trimmed the stem off, and they peeled it back. And this was Mike's father's favorite part, that and the heart of the artichoke, which I'll show you later after it's cooked. But his mother and his grandmother would peel the hard part of the artichoke and place it in the bottom of the pot. In this pot, I've got 3 artichokes, and when you make the stuffed artichokes, you've got to think about putting them in a pot so they're tightly snug, because they're gonna fall down and wilt they're gonna get soft. So you want all 3 of these to be holding each other up, okay? So this is, we're gonna add a little bit of olive oil to the top. It's probably a tablespoon to each artichoke. It's just adding that moisture you need to get those leaves to get tender, okay? And we're gonna put a little bit of water at the bottom with a little bit of olive oil in the water, and I salt and peppered the water for flavor, because this water is going to baste with the artichokes so they get soft and tender and flavorful.
Back in the day, in the 70s, everyone would go to a big Italian wedding, okay? There was no food there. They had cake and punch, champagne, but there wasn't like a sit-down dinner like they do now. So what we would do after the wedding, we'd all go eat somewhere. One evening we went to Mama Rizzos, the place I was telling you about. Sandy, tell the story what happened at Mama Rizzos.
Yeah, we all had gone to the wedding, and it was my parents and Mike's parents and his family, a few of his cousins and aunts and uncles, and we were at a long table at Mama Rizzo's eating. And you know, like I said in my last show, Dad was a meat and potato man, but he was very gracious and kind to go to an Italian restaurant to eat. And he was kind of far away from me, so I wasn't paying attention to what he was ordering and eating. And Mother called me the next morning, and she was kind of chuckling, and I said, "What's so funny?" She goes, "Your dad's mouth is all cut up." I go, "What do you mean it's all cut up?" She said, "Well, he ordered the artichokes, or the artichokes got passed around to him, and he didn't know what to do with them, so he put the whole leaf in his mouth, and he wouldn't look at anybody what they were doing, and he was embarrassed, and he kept the leaf in his mouth because he couldn't chew it down."
He had never had one before. Poor thing. Another hot spot we used to go to after the weddings was a place on Westheimer called Michelangelo's.
It was on the old part of Westheimer, located across the street from the Numbers famous nightclub that is still there. But unfortunately, Michelangelo's is torn down.
One of their specialties was cannelloni. My first cousin Arlene, that was her spot to get cannelloni. She's the one who introduced us to the great cannelloni, let me tell you.
The cannelloni is going to have 3 meats. It's going to have chicken, our Italian sausage, and hamburger meat. And as I've said before, we just want to chop it up until it has a nice texture, but we're not making baby food, okay? We're just kind of gonna blend this all. Let's see how this looks.
Smells delicious. That's the chicken.
Well, and there's a little bit more chicken going in. It's gonna take not very long to do this. I'm gonna ask you to hold that. I'm gonna put this in here because I don't want to use my fingers. Good. Okay, to the meat mixture, we've got a 10 ounce package of spinach, frozen spinach that's been drained, and I'm adding the spinach, the granulated garlic, and all of these ingredients will be on our YouTube. Pepper. And we're gonna add Lawry seasoned salt. I use a lot of that. It's MSG, no MSG, I love it. We've got parsley and oregano in that one. I accidentally put them together. And then sweet basil, granulated. I'm gonna add a cup of my parmigiana reggiano. And just to let y'all know, to make it a lot easier for you, I don't grate this by hand. I put it in my food processor and use the chopper, and it does perfectly. Okay, so Mike's mixing that. We're gonna add all of this 15 ounces of ricotta cheese to this mixture, and we keep mixing it, and I'm adding 2 eggs to this mixture. And we're gonna mix this all up, and then we're gonna stuff it in some manicotti shells, which I've got already cooked. So I've put in this much of filling. I'm gonna hold it over together, and I'm gonna put the cut side on the bottom, okay? And I'm gonna fill these till I get this one casserole done. Because I'm trying to go as fast as I can here. Okay, we're gonna make the bechamel sauce, which right now I'm melting 6 tablespoons of butter, which I'm going to add 6 tablespoons of flour. And since flour is not cooked, it's raw, we want to get a little bit of flavor to the flour. So we're going to make a light roux, cooking the flour with the butter for just a little bit, so you don't taste the flour, you have a better flavor. And the longer you brown it, the darker it gets. But since this is the cream sauce, we don't want it to get a brown, dark roux taste. As the artichokes are cooking, we want to take some of the water that's flavored at the bottom, And we want to baste the artichokes because you want the breadcrumbs to get moist. And you may have to add more water as it cooks because these artichokes are going to soak that flavor up. And this is where I tell you, you have to give it a lot of love and attention. You got to do it slowly with a lot of patience. Don't rush it. Just put just a little bit of water at the bottom, just a little bit. And it's already been seasoned with olive oil and my Lawry's that I love. And I'm gonna go put the lid back on. I've got it on low. And I think this is ready. We've added the flour and the butter to the bechamel sauce. I think it's cooked long enough. I'm gonna go ahead and add our seasonings, which is black pepper, which I really prefer white pepper, but I didn't have any, I'm sorry. So I'm using black pepper, Lawry's, and granulated garlic. Again, that recipe is gonna be online to get the full recipe. We're gonna stir this up. And the next thing we're gonna add is our half and half. But it's thickening really nicely. It's not lumping up. And I'm just gonna keep adding this slowly and stirring it. And I'm gonna go ahead and add some tomato sauce for color and flavor. And then we're gonna pour it on top of the cannelloni and bake it in the oven. Okay, Mike, if you'll hold that spoon, I'm gonna go ahead and, it's cooked. And we're gonna go ahead and put it on top of the cannellonis. We're gonna bake it uncovered in the oven. The oven is preheated at 350.
This past week, some very dear friends of ours came in from Colorado, Jerry and Sharon Carlillo. And Jerry is a great cook himself, and him and Sandy, they really topped it off. And they're a member of the Sons of Italy. 700,000 membership. These people are dedicated to preserving the Italian traditions. I mean, I was really intrigued by all this, but I would love to get a Houston chapter going. That's for another day. So, Sandy, Jerry loves...
We're thankful for Jerry for the aprons and his sister that embroidered these.
Jerry and Sharon love Fettuccine Alfredo. We had some at Damien's the other night, and they said it was delicious. So Sandy's going to make some fettuccine.
We're starting out with 3 tablespoons, excuse me. 3 tablespoons of butter. I'm melting it. I'm letting it get just a little bit brown. You don't want to burn it, but you want to give that butter some flavor. I believe in all kinds of getting as much flavor as you can. So in here I have a half a cup, which is a whole bulb of garlic chopped up, and a half a cup of green salad onions, but it's only the white portion of the salad onion. So I'm going to go ahead and place it in here, and we're going to let it just cook for 3 minutes, because if you cook garlic any longer, you're going to burn it. It's going to give a bitter taste. You don't want to ruin the taste by cooking it too long. So I'm going to pay attention to 3 minutes. Okay, I'm simmering the butter, the garlic, the fresh garlic, the white onions of the green salad onions, and I'm only going to cook it on low for 3 minutes. You don't want to burn the garlic, you just want to cook it long enough. We're going to go ahead and add the wine. I'm going to go ahead and lift this off the fire just in case we don't want to catch anything on fire. So we're going to go ahead and let this simmer for just a little bit. It's a very fattening dish, but it's delicious. We're going to add my famous Lawry's to this and my pepper. It's really the reduction of cooking the heavy cream that thickens it. It's a little bit of a reduction process. The milk is getting warm. I'm going to add the Parmigiana Reggiano mixed with Romano, and we're going to cook this till the cheese has melted and it's starting to get thick.
Honey, it's time to taste these delicious cannellonis, the Fettuccine Alfredo, and the stuffed artichokes.
Let's start with the stuffed artichoke. Teach them how to eat one.
Well, what you do is you grab the leaf. Okay, what you do is you grab the top of the leaf, Scrape your teeth off and get the stuffing and a little bit of the meat on the artichoke. See how I got the meat off the artichoke? Delicious. Stuffing is out of this world.
And when you get to the bottom of the artichoke, it's called the artichoke heart. You take all the fuzzy stuff off the top, and this is the artichoke heart. This is really the good part because it's all that flavor on the leaf, and you don't have to scrape it off. You just open it up.
They're so tender. Oh my gosh.
Totally full of flavors. Italian cheese, garlic, seasoning.
Out of this world.
We're gonna split one.
Let's split one.
I'm gonna take it out whole, and then I'm gonna split it. See, look at that. And we're gonna split it in half. And this is to your cousin Arlene.
Gotta have a little cheese.
And Michelangelo's.
A little cheese.
Across the street from Numbers.
Okay, Arlene. We're gonna try this cannelloni. It is hot.
With you in thought.
Oh my gosh. Out of this world. Delicious. You taste the meat, the chicken, and that sausage.
You like that?
Yes, it's delicious.
This is to you, Jerry and Sharon. Thank you for everything.
Gotta have a little cheese.
I have plenty of cheese.
Not me. Here we go. Fettuccine. So rich. Oh my gosh. Honey, what time is it?
It's wine time.
To the sons of Italy, Jerry and Sharon.
Thank you, and the good fellows. Thank you.
Salud.
Hey, y'all need to subscribe to our YouTube, okay? You can see all these things that we're gonna film automatically. We don't have to always send you updates. Just subscribe. It costs you nothing, okay? Thank you. Bye.
Y'all remember the scene in The Godfather 3? Andy Garcia plays Vincent and his cousin Mary. They're making the gnocchi. The little pasta.
Cousins, okay?
They're first cousins. And they're making the little gnocchi. Cut, Marcus. We gotta argue about the first, third, fifth. Jesus, Maria. Madon. Cut, Marcus. They're first cousins. What part of that don't you understand? I know the movie.
I don't think they're first cousins.
Their fathers are brothers. Both of them. James Caan is Vincent and Andy Garcia is Mary. They're first cousins.
Oh shoot, that was not good.
Anyway, honey, can I have some gnocchi?
I don't have gnocchi.
Good night. See, let's screw up a rock fight.
I didn't want to say it, Mike. In her thought, in her memory, she's not gone. She's still here.
Madon!